So we were at PBIS,
Uh-huh.
and we were mentioning that it was everywhere in the school.
Right.
So I think the next question was, what other programs had you seen in your district, or if there were any?
Right. So I think I mentioned that part of PBIS has a bullying strand, and I've not been involved in the trainings for that, but PBIS, the developers of it, have created a special training for, all the staff members at schools that are PBIS. So I know that that's there. And then just within our district, we took bullying really seriously, and there was like strict protocol that had to be followed if a parent or a student reported, that a child was being bullied. So that typically immediately got the counselor and also the assistant principal involved to sort it out, to talk with the parents, and come to a resolution.
And so was that response across the board in all schools in your district?
Would be hard
For
for
like
me to,
every level?
yeah, it'd be hard for me to speak to that because most of my work has been at the elementary school level, and when I worked at the high school, I was predominantly doing psychoeducational evaluations. I wasn't really involved in more training, and programs just tend to fall apart anyways when it gets to the secondary level. Like they've had real difficulty implementing PBIS with fidelity in middle schools and high schools for a lot of different reasons. But I know I can also say though that PBIS, like within our district, we were like a PBIS district. Each school had to commit and opt in, and they had to take a vote, and they had to have at least 80% or more buy-in before they would implement it, because it's a serious undertaking and a multi-year undertaking for them to go through the trainings and roll it out. So not every school was PBIS, because there were some holdouts where, because of a principal or because of faculty not wanting to change things, they wouldn't commit to do that.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what role do you think the parents play in like the changing of the school landscape with bullying?
Okay. So as I mentioned before, I think that the parents play a really important role, not just in being aware and alert, like within their child, for signs of bullying, but really it starts much before that with parents creating an environment and teaching and modeling for their kids how to be a friend and how to treat others with respect and how not to bully. So we often just think about parents as, being maybe hypervigilant or, oh, my kid's being bullied, my kid's being bullied. But so we have to think about that is important, being aware, recognizing it, talking to your child about what a bully is, But it's also the flip side of that, talking to your child about how not to bully and how to treat other kids with respect. And I think that that's where a lot of these parent training programs are really important, because some parents don't know how to do that. They haven't had that modeled for them. But it's something that we can teach and train kids. But not all kids are going to just naturally get that on their own. So if we wait until they get into school to start talking about how do we treat others with respect and kindness, it's going to be
There's already 5 years of life going by. Yeah. Okay, so the last question is, what do you think it would take to change the bullying landscape across America?
So I think that creating really excellent early childhood education opportunities is one of the key things. So what we find is one of the biggest problems in education in general in the U.S. is that we have a lot of kids who are at risk, and a lot of them, there's just not enough spaces, not enough opportunities for them to get into high-quality daycares, high-quality preschools. And I think that because of that, what we see is we take in so many kids at the kindergarten level who are not prepared, who don't come in with the background of the social skills that they need, let alone the academic skills that they need now entering into kindergarten. And so that creates a gap right from the time that they get into kindergarten. And that gap, as much as schools now are trying to intervene and high-stakes testing to make sure we're seeing where kids are, we somehow are not able to close that gap. And so then by the time they get to 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, a lot of these kids who are at risk are starting to really disengage from school. And there we see them on a trajectory that leads to possibly more aggression, antisocial behavior, bullying, all sorts of different mental health problems too. So I think that the more that we can capture kids early and put them in structured, high quality educational settings, like the better it's going to be, because kids are going to come into school with those social skills and educational skills to give them a better chance.
Well, thanks so much for answering our questions.
No problem.
Thank
you. Thank you.